I'm going to talk about carbon forks, why they snap. Let's get into it. One of my new aero bikes just dropped, and I'm not exactly sure how much spaces I want to have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this plug in here, and I'm going to slam the stem, put the stem down there. So I have spaces on top, but it'll be protected, won't it? And then I can decide where I'm going to cut my steerer. Okay, so get these plugs invaluable. All right, get one of these. Protect yourself. Protect the person next, buys the bike next. Common sense. Okay, this only applies for carbon steerers. If your steerer is made of alloy, it doesn't apply. Okay, easy way to check if it's carbon or alloy is you look behind. See that's carbon? Easy done. Demonstrate. I've got a stem here, and this is a carbon fiber plug. Now this doesn't apply if you have alloy steerer. Okay, if you have alloy steerer, click off the video. If you run carbon stuff, you want to know. So we've got some end of a fork here. It's been cut. So this is your steerer plug, and its job is to make sure this is not hollow. So it goes in here. You set you're basically screwing that, and it makes these expand or go in. So we've got to always keep your parts clean, like I do. And so you tighten that up until it's snug. All right, now that is, you can sort of see in there, that's going to give protection against, it's going to want to go about 2 mil from the top of the stem. Tighten that up, tighten these up. So this is a stem bolt. Don't take pills and do YouTube videos at the same time. 5 mil, please. So this is 101 stuff that your bike shop probably not going to tell you because they're busy, they don't care, or both. All right, so that's just a hypothetical. So that's basically, we know that plug goes to about here, doesn't it? So if we tighten this up really tight, we're not really going to crack the steerer. There's a chance we could damage it, but it's less likely. Now, if I do this, let's just try that out. Let me do an experiment. Let's do the experiment here. I'll tighten it. I'll see if I can crack the steerer by over tightening it. So normally you use a torque wrench for this, and it's going to be 5 Newton meters, that's about 5 Newton meters there. All right, we're going to go beyond that. We're going to go right up, and I'm going to use some of this steroid muscle to inflict some damage. Probably need actually a longer Allen key. So try if you can hear a crack. Nothing's really cracking yet, but some people out there, they wrench their carbon steerers up like this. So, steroid muscle in action. All right, so that's probably about 40 Newton meters. We'll undo this. We'll check for damage. We'll check for damage. We'll check for damage and see if we cracked any carbon. This is why carbon steerers fail, because people do it up too tight. So that hasn't cracked in there. It looks pretty good. All right, this is the steer off one of my forks, so it is pretty strong. But over time, with torsional flexing and hitting bumps, and if you're a 90 kilo rider, that could eventually cause some damage there. Let's take the plug out. All right. Now we've got differences in plugs. So one plug is going to go really deep. It's going to go beyond. One plug's not. So if you're running spaces on top of your stem, that's going to be, make sure you get a long plug. All right, we'll get to that. Now let's put this plug over here. Let's put our carbon steerer back on with no plug this time, like Canyon or a Focus back in the day. Oh man. And let's tighten it up. Let's tighten it up. Let's close off these bolts. Bit shaky here. Too many whiskeys this morning. Pour us another whiskey. Straighten me out a bit. So we're going to try and see if we can crack it. So now that's hollowed, there's nothing to support it from getting crushed. Does that make sense to you, Natasha?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. This video was requested by Schmutz in South Africa. So we're just trying to torque it up. It's deforming a little bit in there. I can see a little bit of deformation going on. But I'll see if I can get it to crack. So it's, I don't know if you can see, I'll check the camera in a second. I'll have to really crank it up. So this is going to be beyond your normal. But then again, I'm using a multi-tool, so it's hard to get a lot of purchase on the thing. But so yeah, ride 5,000k on this, I can see it sort of getting a bit oval shaped. Now this is one of my steerers. They're quite strong, so I'll just steal the camera. Not sure if you can sort of see that. It's a bit hard to see on the camera, but it is getting a bit, it's like squashing in. It feels like getting a bit ovalized, a bit hard to see the lighting. Alright, back to you, Natasha. Now we'll undo, see if we've got any damage. But again, yeah, these carbon steers are pretty strong, but when you're riding and hitting bumps, then that can eventually cause all the delamination that we see. So your carbon steer is not just going to fail on the first ride if you don't have a proper plug in there, but over time it can definitely be an issue. I've seen it in people who run fork steerers. Alright, we got, can't feel any damage in there, but you sort of get the idea. Alright, when you're torquing it up and it's hollow, it's not going to be protected. Now let's use as an example. I will put, this is a fork here, I'll put the steerer in there, so we know it only goes that deep. So what happens is people, noobs, they put their steerer like that, because they don't want to cut it, because they want to resell the fork, and then the plug goes to here, isn't it? So they do the plug up, blah blah blah, and then they tighten it up down here, tighten it up, and then they wonder over time, tighten it up, and then eventually the fork can crack down here. Yeah, that does happen over time. Doesn't always happen, like in the first week or the first month or even in the first year, but eventually it will happen. So if it's not to you, it could be the next rider behind you. Let's see if we can crack this fork. Let's see if this fork's a bit weaker. Take the plug out. So if you want to have spaces above your stem, drop in a long plug like that. Drop in a long plug. So you can see now this is getting a bit deformed. Is that? Or is that just because it's... Yep, just needs to loosen it off. So hopefully this is making sense. If the structure is hollow, it's not as strong. People say, what about seat posts and handlebars? Well, they, true, but they don't have the torsional forces that steerers typically do. So they're a bit stronger. So if your steerers is going to go, in all the way down there. So if you want to run space on a carbon steerer, make sure you have a long plug. Don't use a stock plug, because it's not going to go deep enough to protect it from being hollow. Let's see if we can crack the steerer. Hopefully this is making sense. Who's always wanted to do this? Oh, I heard something. Did you hear that crack then?
Yeah.
You heard something? Yeah, there you go. Oh, hear that one again? Mm-hmm. There we go, okay. So now if we had the plug in there, it wouldn't have happened. So that's how it starts, just a little click like that, and then you ride that, bumps, jumps, speed humps, crit racing, gravel riding, mountain biking, stairs, loan your bike to a guy who jumps off gutters or whatever, or dropping it in the races, drop off the back of the car on the way to the race. Maybe you loan it to your fat barrister mate. And mummy's boy. But yeah, let's have a look here. Nothing wrong with being a mummy's boy, is there? So you heard that click. I can't really see any. Oh, there's like a little. It's very hard to see on the camera. Won't really show up. But there's a pinch. Can you rub your finger over that? I feel there's like a bit of a pinch. Feel that? It's like a bit of an edge to it.
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah. So that's made it like just a little raised edge. So then that's going to cause damage inside that fork. So this fork obviously wasn't going to get used. But hey, what I'll do is I'll sell this fork I'll sell this fork on eBay for $200. It's a Cannondale fork. Yeah, that's what's happening out there. People are doing some dodgy stuff, man. So there you go. That's why second-hand carbon's not really worth much, because you don't know who's played with it, what backyard Fred named Durrider's done with it. So there you go. Hopefully that explains it. If you want to run spacers, if you want to have a penis on your stem, that little carbon dick, okay, do that. Make sure your plug goes down deep, so you protect that lowest pinch point here. Okay. Say it again. Say it again. If you want to have spacers on top of your stem. Alright, let's say this is your stem on your bike, carbon stem, carbon steerer. You're going to have your stem like that because you don't want to cut it. Make sure you get a plug that goes deep enough. What are you laughing about?
I'm falling asleep.
Falling asleep. Jeez, great. That's a vote of confidence right there. How you doing? Have a good time, yeah? Yeah, I'm falling asleep. So you look at how long that plug goes in. Alright, deep plug. Size does matter. Size does matter. Alright. Oh, Jesus. And then this plug here. Alright, so they're going to go down that deep. So you tighten it up. It's not protected down here. Ride it for a few thousand K. Click, click, click. So if you want to have spacers, go deep. Go balls deep. Okay? Hopefully that's clear. And every now and then, you know, shine a torch in there, have a look inside, see if there's any cracks inside. Take the stem off, and just check around here for any cracks or wear. Okay? Always check your carbon product. Don't be complacent.